welcome. Today, we're going to step into a landscape painted with words. It's a tiny, four-line masterpiece that somehow manages to capture the entire soul of spring in southern China. This is Jiangnan Chun by the great Tang Dynasty poet Du Mu.
Now, before we get into what it all means, let's just listen. Let the sound of the original Chinese wash over you. Just try to feel the rhythm and the atmosphere it creates. 千里莺啼绿映红，水春山郭酒旗风。南朝484寺，多少楼台烟雨中。
So who was the artist behind this little gem? The poet's name was Du Mu. He was a brilliant official who lived back in the 9th century during the late Tang Dynasty. And in the first half of this poem, he doesn't just describe a scene. No, he pulls us right into this vibrant, sun-drenched world of a spring day in Jiangnan, which is the region south of the Yangtze River.
All right, let's start with the very first line. Just listen to the sound of it. 千里莺啼绿映红.
You know, the poem opens with this incredible, almost cinematic wide shot. Du Mu immediately gives us this immense scale. We're not just in a place, we're immersed in an entire atmosphere. This isn't just one garden we're looking at, it's a whole world just bursting into life.
And notice how masterfully he combines all of this. That 1,000 miles, or qianli, it's not a literal measurement, of course. It's a poetic device, a way to express the boundless, sprawling beauty of the Jiangnan region. And then he fills this vast space with sound, the singing of orioles, and floods it with sight, that vivid green foliage reflecting the brilliant red of the flowers. It's a total sensory experience.
Okay, let's move on to the second line and see how he builds on this. Listen to the rhythm of this one. 水村山郭酒旗风.
So notice how this image unfolds. After that huge, sweeping opening shot, the poet's focus starts to zoom in. He guides our eye from that huge landscape down to the little details of human life. We see villages right by the water, towns nestled up against the mountains, and even the lively flutter of tavern banners, which is a sure sign of a prosperous and bustling community. And this is where you can really see the poet's genius at work. In just 7 characters, and they're all simple nouns, Du Mu creates a complete dynamic scene. This isn't some static painting, it feels like a living, breathing world. You can almost feel that wind making the banners flutter, and you can imagine the life going on in those villages and towns. It's just a stunning bit of poetic efficiency. So far, everything has been bright, clear, and just buzzing with life. But now, in the second half of the poem, the mood shifts, pretty dramatically. We move from the sensory present into a much deeper, more atmospheric world of history and memory.
The third line, and you can hear the change in tone. Nan chao si ba bai sesir.
Here, the poet writes not of what he sees, but of what he remembers, of what history has left behind. The whole poem just pivots from the landscape of right now to the landscape of the past. Suddenly, we're not just looking at spring anymore, we're looking through spring at all the layers of time that lie just underneath.
And this reference is absolutely crucial. The southern dynasties, that was a time centuries before Du Mu, and it was famous for this passionate devotion to Buddhism, which led to people building just countless magnificent temples. So by bringing up this era, he adds this profound layer of cultural memory to the scenery.
So what about this number, 480? Well, just like the 1,000 miles from before, this is poetic exaggeration. It's a classic device from the Tang Dynasty that just means countless or a great many. The specific number isn't the point. The point is the overwhelming scale of this historical and spiritual legacy that's just scattered all over the land.
And that brings us to the final, really haunting line. There's a real sense of wonder to it. 多少楼台烟雨中. And right here is the crucial turn. This line isn't just about the weather. That misty rain, the Yanyu, is this powerful metaphor for the haze of time itself. The poet is asking a really deep, philosophical question. All of that glory, all of that devotion, all those amazing buildings, where are they now? They're not necessarily gone, but they're veiled. Their sharp outlines have been softened and kind of obscured by the mists of history. And that question just hangs in the air, doesn't it? It completely transforms this beautiful spring scene into something so much more profound. It becomes a meditation on just how fleeting things are. So when you put it all together, you realize the true genius of the poem is in this powerful tension. It's this friction between the vibrant, immediate beauty of what's happening right now and the fading, almost sad echoes of the past. And here you can really see that duality laid bare. The first 2 lines give us this world that's so bright and clear, just bursting with sensory detail. But then the last two lines come and wash over that same world with a layer of mist, of memory, and a kind of gentle melancholy. That brilliant spring day is ultimately held within, and maybe even defined by, this deep, deep sense of history.
This insight from a later critic really hits the nail on the head. The poem's beauty isn't just in the singing birds and blooming flowers. It's in the suggestion that the past is never really gone. It's simply veiled. It's just waiting to be felt in the soft fall of rain on a spring day. Gumu leaves us with this final, resonant image, a landscape that is both beautiful right now, in this moment, and also infinitely deep with all the stories it holds. It makes me wonder, what histories are veiled in the landscapes that we see every day?